Let's get a drink real quick. Mmm, tasty. Listen, guys. I don't know if you guys know this, but I like women. I don't know. It's a shock, but it's true. I like women. I know that might be a contradiction if you saw my last video. I've made some statements on my TikTok about it. I made some mistakes last video, but go just check out my TikTok about that. But it's true. I do like women. And so when I hear, but I do understand the statement that, men and women are different. They have, on average, they like different things. They want to do different stuff. They have different preferences. Not only are they physically different, but they have different things they like. Just trying to get at. And so when I heard, of one of the greatest comic stories of all time, Supergirl, okay, I was like, well, it's just Superman, but as a woman, right? That's what it is. 'Cause I don't know nothing about Supergirl. I have no idea, who Supergirl is, what's her big appeal. And so I decided to dive in because, of course, we all know the Supergirl movie is coming out very soon. In fact, in a couple weeks. Very excited about it. I'm very excited about it because I read the source material for it, which is Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is honestly one of the best recent comics I've read in a long, long time. I was introduced of this because of the movie that was coming out, so I want to do some research to get really hyped up for the movie. And this is honestly a fantastic story. Like I said before, I thought Supergirl was just a female version of Superman. That's not the case. Supergirl is a lot more down to earth in her portrayal. We all see like DC and how a lot of the characters are so extraordinary and they're like super divine, elegant beings. Like there's something we can almost never relate to. Batman's an ultra billionaire. I'm like, I'm never going to be a billionaire, let alone fight crime while being a billionaire. Superman, he's literally an alien from space that's like almost a benevolent god over the earth. This stuff is almost unreachable to the average person, the average Joe, who wants to like be something. You know what I'm saying? Supergirl, I would say power-wise is exactly like Superman. She has the same powers, same ability as Superman. However, her backstory is what makes the meat of her character. It's honestly a very incredible backstory, and I would say it's a very, very sad backstory. But let's start with the story. The story of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow is honestly really simple. It's basically like a revenge story. Supergirl, she's celebrating her birthday. She's on a planet with a red sun, and it's cool. It teaches a little about Kryptonians. Red suns drain the powers of the Kryptonians, right? So she could get drunk. So she's like, oh, I'm just gonna party, have fun, stuff like that. And then, on top of the fact that she doesn't really have anyone to hang out with, so she's very, very alone. It's very sad. And then this girl, Ruth, approaches her and is like, hey, I need some help because my dad was murdered and I want to like get revenge for this person's death. And that kind of kicks the story into motion. It kind of just turns into basically like a cat and mouse chase where Supergirl's trying to hunt down this murderer for all these reasons. And while she's doing that, she has this child named this Ruth child who kind of acts as almost the inspiration for Supergirl's morality, right? Because sometimes we get so lost in our own vices, our own issues, that we kind of lose focus. Sometimes the best way to pick ourselves up out of the situation is to have support of other people. I think that's one of the most beautiful parts of this story, is that Supergirl is faced with so many choices during her confrontations, right? She's like, I could just murder this guy right here. I'm Supergirl. I'm like Superman. I could murder this guy right here. And then she's like, well, I told this girl about Superman and how he was a benevolent icon of hope and how we should all be like him, and I want to be an inspiration to this girl. So I can't do this type of stuff. I love that. I love the that struggle there, right? Because it's like us every single day. We may not see ourselves as benevolent, but we have to we have to wake up every day and be something to someone. I think that's an incredible story right there. This story of Supergirl is it's very, very beautiful. Also, like I said, very, very sad, because Supergirl's experiences are a lot different than Superman, right? Uh, I won't get too much into the spoiler territory, but I just say read it. It's very, very sad, and she has to live with that trauma. And like I said, she has to still uphold the same standards that Superman does, right? Truth, justice, American way, more or less. Um, and I just love it. I love this story. Of course, let's talk about the art. Art is great. I don't even know where to begin. The art is so beautiful. Let me find my favorite page. Oh, I think that's the one with the freaking unicorn. I know we all love unicorns. Oh, holy cow! Look at this. Beautiful. It's not a unicorn. It's a horse. Still, so good. Holy cow, man. Absolutely incredible. So I am very, very excited about this book. I recommend it, honestly, just in general. Just read it. It's such a good book. I think I don't know if this is virtue signaling, but I think as a woman empowerment story, this is a perfect book. I was talking about Wonder Woman last book. I made some mistakes on some of the claims I made. Please check out my TikTok about my claims, because I had to make some replies onto that. I realized I made some mistakes there. So please check out my TikTok on those issues. But this is probably a much more superior story to empower people. Yeah. So honestly, I recommend this highly. It's perfection. I don't know what to say. It's honestly a really great book. I'm not. I wouldn't say though it's like an addicted perfection, right? It's not something that I keep going at. Like I'm reading Spawn, I'm reading Watchmen, and this stuff I want to read over and over again. This is just a good story. So I'd say it's perfection. Maybe not like a masterpiece, right? Because I'm like this is what I think of a masterpiece. A masterpiece is like I want to read this over and over again. This is just a fine story. Read it if you want to read some good like situational stories. Very, very personal, down to earth. Because I'll say this is that we as human beings have to make choices every single day to do good or to do bad, and those choices make a huge difference in the people around us. I hope that we can all do good. You know, sometimes we do bad. I just think we got to make sure we pick ourselves up the next day and keep on trying. But overall, I give Supergirl a 5 out of 5. And with that, I'd say toad out, and I hope the movie's good.